Hello, Arizona, and welcome to this episode of 22 Minutes with Jason and Stefan. I am, as you can see from my lower third there, I am Jason Bates, and I'm going to bring you the lender side of things. And this, everyone, is Mr. Stefan Cotton. He's going to bring us the realtor side of things.
Trying to do like an 80s thing, you know, where they...
Oh, I'm going to throw it back to you, Johnny.
Right.
We hope to not only entertain you, but also bring you the, not only, but the only content that you can actually use when you're looking to buy, sell, refinance, or invest in property. So if you're looking to do that, hey, please reach out to us. We'd love to be your team of choice when doing that. We do this each and every day at 8:30 a.m. Arizona time. So be sure to check out the live show. One way, convenient way that you can do that is by heading over to our page and liking the page. That way you'll get some notifications when we go live. And then you can tell your friends and family that we're live. Or anybody else that you know.
Today on 22 Minutes with Jason and Stefan, and then everybody be quiet. Because they want to hear what we said.
Yeah. What he said.
Like E.F. Hutton. Well, my podcast show is 22 Minutes with Jason and Stefan. And on this morning's show they said,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Trending Tuesday. We cover some of the trends that are happening out there in the real estate world. So we want to cover those. But before we do that, let's get to today's tweet quote of the day. We always do a tweet quote of the day to keep everybody kind of inspired, on their toes a little bit. I think it's, I like it. I don't know if anybody else likes it or not, but I kind of like it. If you don't like it, I guess you can fast forward if you're watching the replay. All right, here we go. All right, I really like this inspirational tweet quote here. You have three choices in life. You can watch things happen, make things happen, or wonder what the hell happened.
Yes.
Which I think a lot of people are kind of thinking that right now. Especially since but the Denver Broncos let me down and I'm out of the pool. Like, what the hell happened to the Broncos?
You watched it happen.
I watched it and then also wondered what the hell.
Okay.
I did a little bit of both, I suppose.
Right. I did.
Yeah.
I'm on the last category because I didn't watch the game.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it and I wasn't part of it. So what the hell happened?
Yeah. What the hell happened?
I thought,
go ahead.
Hey, Jason, I was going to say, it would have been funny if your tweet quote of the day was Tuesday, or as I like to call it, my pre-Friday. Just do a countdown every time.
Yeah, exactly. I should have done that, huh?
Tweet quote for tomorrow. Pre-Friday.
Pre-Friday. Okay, hey, we're going to cover some trends here. I don't know if I set up the stinger here for this or not. I don't think that I did. But if I didn't, we can just get right into it here. Yeah, no, I did. So let's do it. Go. Oh, man, Stefan, your sound effects are just...
I'm on fire.
You're on fire.
You don't need that fancy schmancy stuff. I'll do it. Beep, 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 beep. I don't even know what that was. That's not a keyboard. Words are like...
Click, 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 click. Okay, hey, it's called Peckers for a reason, I guess. I want to talk about Boomerang Buyers as a little bit of a trend here right now. Boomerang Buyers, what are they? Do you want to define that?
Australian buyers.
They're from down under.
I'm going to go with what you have on the screen here and say they're probably people that are now eligible to enter the housing market.
They are.
That were probably people that did short sales or foreclosures. Probably more foreclosures, right?
Yeah, foreclosures, short sales, bankruptcies fall into that category a little bit. So yeah, Boomerang Buyers were once homeowners before the crash of the market, who are now entering back into the market, therefore boomeranging back into the market and wanting to purchase homes. This has kind of put a little bit of pressure on inventory. each year it has kind of steadily increased in the number of boomerang buyers entering back into the housing market. Typically, the boomerang buyers are Generation Xers. We put a lot of focus on millennials and even baby boomers for that matter. But most of the boomerang buyers today are Generation X, of the Generation X.
Okay.
So there's some trends that are going to be, you got to speak to that age group, right?
Yep.
So they're between what, age 35 or something like that, and 50 maybe, or something like that, or 52, something. I don't know what that age group is, but this is one thing that I saw this yesterday, and I kind of want to preface this a little bit. Know your audience, right? And when we're talking about trends, I see advertisers and I see advertisements, especially in being in the real estate world, if you will. I get those Facebook ads and things like that, and they don't really speak to me as an audience yet. It's put in front of me. So somebody somewhere identified me as a potential audience member, yet the ad doesn't speak to me as a Generation Xer.
What did it say?
Well,
sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. So this one in particular that I was thinking of, it just talked about down payment assistance and so on and so forth. And they had their this realtor had his lender next to him or whatever, just kind of push down payment assistance, pushed it, which is great, which is fine. I'm not saying it's not, but am I doing business with you, the realtor? Or what? Again, down payment assistance. Okay, that's out there everywhere. Seems like.
Yeah.
What are you as a realtor going to do for me as a consumer? That's what I'm speaking of there. It just seems to be a little off for me. So know your audience, I guess, is the takeaway there. And I feel like too, as and I'm part of this age group, and I don't know, Stefan, maybe you can speak to this too, but it feels like that this Generation X has been a little bit forgotten.
Well,
a little bit.
I think that's what Generation X was when we were growing up too. It's a little bit forgotten kids. Let the kids play till the lights come home. Once the street lights come on, you can come home.
Yeah. Right.
Generation. I mean, that's what we've grown up with. Yeah, shoot, a lot of the people in my college, in my high school, are buying houses, right?
Yeah. Well, I look at all aspects of a lot of things. Like, it just seems like Generation Xers aren't really advertised, but that's a huge demographic. As this slide shows, 1.5 million Americans are now eligible to re-enter the housing market, and they will. This is assuming 7 years have passed since the economic event that they had, such as your foreclosure, bankruptcy, that sort of thing.
Or close enough. Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah. Which is still is. There's a lot of misinformation out there, if you will, because again, you can buy a house after 4 years. 3 years from a foreclosure.
Right, 3 years.
A lot of people don't realize that, and they still think they have to wait 7 years. And so the media puts out this, hey, it's 7 years. They're going to be. I feel like a lot of those people have already entered back into the market.
Right.
Too. So I don't know. I could be wrong there, but I feel like a lot of them already have.
So basically, all they're saying is, hey, 7 years ago, 1.5 million people went bankrupt, foreclosed, or did a short sale. I mean, that's basically what this thing says. I mean, because you don't need 7 years to be eligible. A lot of people still think that, though, right? I mean, a lot of people still think they need a 780 or something credit score and 20% down. So this kind of feeds into them. Like, oh, yeah, I can get back in them.
Totally does. And that's where we've, as an industry, have let that demographic down a little bit. We haven't put the word out, which is why we came up with the show, essentially, right? Is to get that word out there that you can purchase a home sooner than having to wait 7 years on things. The article too that I read that kind of sparked this, and we'll get into some of the 2018 predictions here in just a second, but it says 75% of Gen Xers routinely rely on social networks and online reviews when researching product and services. So the reason I bring this up is because I still talk to agents all the time who are not online and not utilizing online services. That's why I feel like there's a big segment of the consumer population, if you will, that's been kind of forgotten.
Yes.
Right? I mean, 75% of Gen Xers, So 75% of these 1.5 million people rely on social media and online reviews to make a decision, and you're not on there? Seems a bit strange to me, right?
Well, some people are targeting. I remember when I first started real estate, which was about 7 years ago, right, in 2010. Several people in my office where I was working were like, "I'll never work short sales. I would never touch those things." Guess what they had to do a year and a half later?
Yeah.
They had to work short. 80% of the market was short sales and foreclosures.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we're at.
Yeah. And the other thing too that I don't know why for the life of me this hasn't happened already, Stefan. But the article said, and I've been saying this for quite some time, especially here in Phoenix and really across the country when it comes to rent. And that is, I used to hear before, like in the early 2000s, why rent when you can buy, kind of thing.
Yep.
We just talked yesterday about buying a condo at the University of Arizona versus dorm prices, right? It seems pretty logical to me that why rent when you can buy. Now, credit issues have been a little bit of a barrier, although they shouldn't be, really, not at this point, right? 4 years.
Right.
Or 3 years. So I'm not sure why I'm not seeing why rent when you can buy. I'm not seeing those ads. I'm seeing, hey, we got your down payment, or we're focused on that rather than saying, hey, what is the why behind? The down payment kind of is a not an after effect, but it's kind of a feature, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a hook.
Yeah.
But, every time I talk to a renter, and all my renters can vouch for this, I have that conversation about buying versus renting. Because you can rent this house for $1,400, or you can buy the house 5 streets or 5 houses over for $1,300.
Yeah.
So you're still there. So why not? Well, if we don't have the down payment assistance or down payment, that's what you kind of bring up the down payment assistance as an option. But I also tell them this, that because when here's something for everybody else out there that's watching, that our 3 viewers or whatever we have today. But when you rent a house, right. So this is really quality stuff. When you rent a property, you have to put first month security deposit, which is like 2 months rent, right?
Yeah.
So let's say just make it easy, $1,000, just so it's easy. So we have $1,000 down, $1,000 for the security deposit, maybe $300 for pet, $300 for cleaning, maybe more, right? So now you're at $1,600 or $2,600 to move in, and then guess what happens on the first? You have to pay another $1,000. So now you're at $3,600 in this scenario. And then guess what happens on the month after? You have to put another $1,000, right? So by 45 days, you're putting in about $4,600.
Yeah.
If you were to buy a house comparable, put 3.5% down. Sorry, are you with me so far? So
I'm with you. I'm following you.
Okay. Everybody else, just chime on in. But right.
Sorry, I'm just not getting it.
Right. So we're at $4,600 by January 1st in this scenario.
Yeah.
If you were to purchase a house, you'd have to put 3.5% down. 3.5% down of, let's say it's a $100,000 house, right? I mean, maybe that's what's a $1,000 payment, like $1,500 or $150,000.
Oh yeah, with tax, insurance, everything. Yeah, it's probably around $1,500. A little less than that.
Let's call it $150,000. Yeah. We'll just call it $150,000. So 3.5% of that is 3 times that is $4,500, and half is another $7,000. So you're at $52,500.
Yeah, 52.
So $52,500.
No, $5,200.
Okay.
$5,250.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
You said 52,000.
Oh, I meant 50. 5250.
Yeah, right.
I did. Yeah, 5250. Yeah, right. You're funny. This is good stuff, everybody. So focus. All right. So you put $4,600 down to rent a house. You put $5,250 down. You don't make a house payment on the first month or the second month. You don't make that payment until January.
Yeah.
That's my point. So you're like $600 difference.
Not to mention, with all that being said, Cliff Notes here.
Yeah.
Not to mention the tax savings that you're going to have at the end of the year.
Right.
So your net effect at the end of the year after tax deduction is going to be much well, you're going to pay much less, I guess, than those real numbers on a monthly basis. So, again, the lead-in, it shouldn't be, in my opinion, down payment assistance. The lead-in should be, what are you doing renting when you can buy? That should be the lead-in. And then the byproduct of that lead-in would be, hey, you don't need down payment assist, or you don't need down payment. We can help you with down payment, that sort of thing. But we seem to kind of get it a little bit backwards right now. That's just my opinion.
Or I think we're in a bubble. That's the thing I get. And I always explain to them how we're not in a bubble.
Yeah, we've kind of beat that horse a little bit, right? Okay, so I want to get into 2018 and some of the predictions. A lot of people now, especially in our industry, are starting to do their 2018 planning, starting to get their business plans together, and put some systems in place that will kick off 2018. Here in Arizona, our season kind of starts right at Super Bowl, which in the northern hemisphere or northern part of the country, it's still frozen and kind of cold, and it's not really kind of there yet. But our season starts a little bit earlier. Even now, really, it's kind of a little bit of a season, especially if you're a realtor who's in the retiree market, because a lot of retirees are starting to move down here. So that business is kind of booming right now. So 2018 is fast approaching. We're in the fourth quarter right now. There are some predictions, which I got to be honest, Stephan, I was pretty surprised to see these predictions out so early.
Would you say they're bold predictions?
They're not really bold. They're kind of broad.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But I think these will be trends that we'll see in 2018. And one of them, and this is mainly geared toward us as agents, but as a consumer, you're going to probably see more of this too. And that is online brands will dominate, is prediction number one.
Okay.
So online brands will dominate.
In real estate or in general? Like, we're talking about
well, it'll be expected that a realtor has an online brand in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be kind of like, well, I do, I don't, whatever. I've taught some not CE classes, but some sat in. I shouldn't say I taught, but I've sat in some social media classes here for real estate agents, and I'm thinking about putting one together myself. And I am surprised. I am super surprised at how many agents do not have a business page, Facebook page. Yeah. Super surprised by that. So I think that Facebook is just one aspect of online presence, of course, but not to have a business page seems a bit surprising for me. Okay, number 2, mass marketing everything.
Consume the masses.
Yeah, so with social media becoming a more and more powerful tool for broadcasting messages, real estate agents will be expected to heavily invest their time and resources in building their online presence. Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, LinkedIn. There are so many options and so many different interfaces you can choose to learn. With all the different platforms to choose from, which one will win out? Facebook is probably the clear-cut choice, I would think.
Facebook, well, Instagram is also part of the Facebook. I think Instagram, doing a little bit of marketing there, but depends again on who you're marketing towards. So
Snapchat, remember Snapchat? I mean, I say this all the time. Like a lot of people, I don't even hear Snapchat anymore. Really, to be honest with you, I don't even hear about it. 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, everybody said you got to be on Snapchat. You got to be on Snapchat. I'm like, really? Who are you? Snapchat what?
Well, you know why you don't hear about it?
Because I'm not there.
Because, right.
I know you and I, we've snapped back and forth together and just had some fun with it or whatever. But as a marketing tool, I don't know. It seems a bit.
Well, I think it's a different generation. So as we're talking about the masses, I think you need it. But I also think if you're talking about what we're talking about earlier, 1.5 million people our age doing it. I don't know how many our age people are doing Snapchat.
Yeah, I don't think many. We're
going to have to, you know what our people are doing these days? They're doing Tinder, plenty of fish. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to tell our wives that we're creating these accounts specifically for the market, right?
Yeah, I'm not on Tinder, nor do I ever plan to be on Tinder. Not my gig. And I don't care if my business or the world went to Tinder. I'm not going on Tinder. Okay, smart home. Yeah, I love you, honey. I love you and miss you, honey.
Yes.
Smart home innovation or automation. Excuse me. Smart home automation will become more popular in 2018. 100% agree with that. I'm surprised.
2 weeks ago about.
Yeah, we talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Smart homes.
Yeah. I'm surprised, really, that this has not become more popular quicker. I'm surprised 2018 is kind of the, I thought 2017 would be kind of more of a, I'd start to see more people asking for smart home kind of stuff, I'm not on the front line like you are, but it doesn't seem like that's as big of a deal. And maybe it's a price point. Maybe it's kind of a, those things come at a cost, right? So maybe people are just still looking for that bargain out there. So I do feel that they are still looking for that bargain. What do you think?
Yeah, I still think, as the price has gone up, the purchase power has gone down. So I think they're trying to figure out what they can afford to get into the house. And they're trying to find the right house.
Yeah.
That is more of a luxury than a necessity. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And the price point on that seems to be, you can ask a lot more than what you're actually getting. The perceived value is a little bit higher when you have a smart home kind of thing. Okay, more specialization happening too. And this is for real estate agents in general. You talked about short sales and that sort of thing, and agents kind of specializing in that. Do you see a trend of agents kind of saying, hey, you know what, I specialize in this particular neighborhood or this area of town? Phoenix is kind of notorious for a lot of agents saying, hey, I'll sell anything anywhere.
Maricopa. Well, I say Maricopa County, right?
Yeah.
Not so much here, but I was in San Diego last week, and my friend built a huge brand by marketing a neighborhood. And what they did is they created a Facebook page. It's 3 years in the making, right? But what they did is every Thursday was kid play day. So they posted like an ice cream thing at this park, and all the parents would bring their kids down and get to know the neighbors in this neighborhood. And they became a pretty good staple in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
If you were to go that far and do that, you're fine. But here over there, you're at 600,000 as a small house. So
right.
To market that neighborhood and be the one and only in that neighborhood makes sense. Over here, we're still at 225, at 180. I have a house in the market at 110.
Right.
So you have to kind of be everywhere.
There are a few agents that kind of specialize in certain areas, certain price points, luxuries, that sort of thing. Scottsdale Ranch, even up here in Tatum Ranch, there's a couple of agents that kind of specialize up here. But for the most part, most agents kind of cover a broad spectrum. So I think we'll start to see more agents kind of honing their efforts in one particular area. I do agree with that one. Last one is, we talked about Generation Xers. And we didn't really talk about Generation Y, but Generation Z, as they're now called, is starting to hit the market. So those are born since 1995, so 95 and newer.
My goodness.
Yeah, Generation Z gaining influence really quickly. Generation Z is expected to reach 2.56 billion individuals globally by 2020. Only 2 years away. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. That comes with a lot of consumer power. And so we'll start to see, we're just trying to get our hands on around millennials. A lot of agents are. And now all of a sudden, you're going to start to have Generation Zers come into the market. So in 2018 and beyond.
Dang.
Yeah, right?
I can't believe that's happening.
I know. Quickly, right? Quickly.
The year was 1995. You were born.
Back to the future.
Right.
Get that flux capacitor going there.
Right. It was 85, but yeah.
Oh, I'm off by 10 years. Okay. Oh, God.
Behave.
Yeah.
Rough. Yeah, that's fun.
That was a rough one. All right. Well, hey, those are 2018 trends. If there's trends out there that you'd like for us to cover, maybe there's trends that you're seeing out there. I don't really necessarily want to go into paint and those sort of things. Although we do cover those
right.
kind of trends, you know, but
yeah.
paint's
May
kind of
change.
here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing. That's kind of an ever evolving. It's personalized taste kind of thing. So don't necessarily like to cover that, but these are kind of a more broader picture of some of the things that we can expect to be happening in the future. And if you're an agent watching this show, hopefully you got some value out of that, and you can kind of, you know, mold your business plan around that for 2018. Generation
Yes.
Xers and Zers and baby boomers and that sort of thing, and tailor fit your marketing to speak to that audience. I guess it's probably the biggest takeaway, right? Speak to the audience. Maybe we don't do that because that's why we only have 3 viewers.
Right. It's weird, right? And we had last 2 weeks ago, we're averaging about 400, 500 viewers, and then this week I think we're not going to break 100. But that's
I think I've been in Facebook jail one too many times, man. I think I'm on the most wanted list on Facebook's page.
Watch the show that Facebook doesn't want you to watch. That's what we should call our show. Watch.
Yeah, right.
Why is Facebook censoring us?
Yeah, exactly. We may have to boycott Facebook. No, we probably won't do that. Yeah, we won't do that. All right, everyone. Hey, thanks for being a part of the show and watch us. For the few that did watch us, we really appreciate your time. If you would be so kind as to share this with your friends and family, or if you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, refinance, or invest in property, drop our names in the hat. That would be much appreciated. And certainly give us that thumbs up if you're watching the replay on YouTube. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow with Wacky Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Arizona time, so be sure to tune in for that and break out the popcorn and let's have some fun. What do you say?
Yes.
Get in where you fit in, and let's have a ball.
Oh, yeah. Does he say that too?
Yeah, he does
Or
that.
is that yours? Oh, okay. Cut it out.
All right, take care, everyone. Bye.
Next there.